It's Monday, January 18th, and this is now on HNN.
This week, you'll see a huge increase in the number of vaccinations we deliver.
Oahu's first vaccination site is up and running.
The U.S. approaches 400,000 COVID deaths. I'm Chris Martinez with what some states are doing to try to ramp up vaccinations.
But what's happening on January 26th?
Anyone flying to the U.S. will soon need to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test.
We're not taking any chances. This is 3 times the number of guardsmen we would normally have in support of the United States Secret Service.
Law enforcement is on high alert with 2 days until the inauguration. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill, where more than 20,000 troops will be deployed, and they too will be vetted.
These stories plus a strong cold front is moving in, bringing gusty winds and heavy rain. That's coming up on This Is Now. Thanks for watching This Is Now on this Monday. Jonathan and Ashley here coming to you from the HNN Digital Center. Just moments ago, we got those latest numbers from the State Department of Health.
That's right. Hey, everyone. Health officials are reporting 129 new infections today, but no new fatalities. The breakdown by island shows 9 cases on the Big Island, 2 on Kauai, 21 on Maui, 83 on Oahu, and 14 residents were diagnosed out of state. Meanwhile, Oahu's first mass vaccination site is now open as Hawaii's race to vaccinate residents ramps up. Sammy Salina begins our coverage.
So Honolulu's Pier 2 cruise ship terminal is now acting as a mass vaccination clinic. About 600 folks are signed up to receive the vaccine today. If you're 75 and older, you can sign up to be vaccinated at this clinic by going to hawaiipacifichealth.org/COVID vaccine. About 12,800 people have scheduled appointments already, according to HPH, and it is by appointment only. They already had a dry run with a few hundred kupuna on Friday. Tuesday through Saturday, they hope to do about 1,500 a day. The plan allows folks 75 and older to sign up for the vaccine, and once your date approaches, it's important to know that you should arrive no earlier than 30 minutes before.
We need you to arrive with your identification, your insurance card if you have insurance, and also your printed out copy of your appointment date and time. Once you enter here, we'll take you through the process of how you get from point A to point B. You'll do a registration step, and then we'll take you into the area where you get your shot, and then we'll have you wait at least 15 minutes after your shot to make sure you're fine. We'll get you your second appointment 3 weeks from now, so you can come back and get that second really important dose, and then you leave.
Additional clinics will be popping up in the coming weeks, but to get through this one, you need about 30 to 35 minutes of your time to get through that entire process. Sammy Solina for This Is Now.
Now, there's been a lot of questions about parking at this first mass vaccination clinic on Oahu. People are encouraged to park at Waterfront Plaza and Aloha Tower Marketplace and not at Pier 2. Parking there is being reserved for people with limited mobility. It's $2 for 2 hours with documentation of your vaccine visit at Waterfront and Aloha Tower. There will be no shuttle service to either parking location. If you do park at Pier 2, it's $5. Keep in mind, you can also just drop off and avoid parking altogether. Also looking ahead, Oahu's second mass vaccination site is set to open 1 week from today. Queens will run that site, and it will be at the Blaisdell Concert Hall. It's also for those 75 and older.
The U.S. is fast approaching another grim milestone in the fight against COVID-19, 400,000 recorded deaths. Chris Martinez has more from Los Angeles.
Wow, didn't he feel it?
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan got vaccinated in front of the cameras Monday morning, encouraging people in his state to sign up.
The only way that we're going to return to a sense of normalcy is by these COVID-19 vaccines.
Mass vaccination sites are opening up, like this one in Washington state.
We feel so grateful. Wowie.
But many states are struggling to obtain and administer vaccines.
We're doing our best for everybody. Be patient. We get it. Everybody needs vaccines.
New York's governor said the federal government raised expectations by expanding eligibility, but didn't follow up with supply.
Now you have 7 million New Yorkers chasing 300,000 vaccines a week. At that rate, it would take 6 months.
Here in California, Los Angeles County is opening the LA Forum as a large-scale vaccination site starting tomorrow. Over the weekend, LA County became the first to surpass 1 million coronavirus infections. Another new variant of the virus has been identified in several large outbreaks in California.
It just reiterates how important, again, that we just need to continue to do all of the things we've been asking the public to do, which is to watch your distance, wear a mask, stay home and away from mixing with others.
Health experts say new vaccines from Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca need to be approved as quickly as possible.
J&J and AstraZeneca, there's no 15 to 30 minute waiting time. It's not frozen. Very easy to distribute to doctors' offices.
Some estimates put the death toll at 500,000 by mid-February because of the new mutant, more contagious strains of the virus. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A portion of the Waikiki Shell parking lot is now being used as part of a repatriation effort for American Samoans stuck in the state. The U.S. territory sealed off its borders nearly 10 months ago, stranding hundreds of residents. The city is partnering with the state to help facilitate safe travel and quarantine arrangements for those American Samoans. Similar support events will happen again on February 7th and the 22nd.
There's some big changes coming to international air travel. Here's CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg reporting from Cancun.
But what's happening on January 26th, which is the new rule from the CDC that effective on that day, a week from tomorrow, anybody coming back to the United States, including Americans, has to be able to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test at least 72 hours, not at least, within 72 hours of your getting on the plane. And the hotel industry is trying to adapt to that and pivot. Some in the Caribbean have done it. In the Turks and Caicos, the Grace Bay has done it. A number of other hotels have done it in terms of providing testing. In Turkey, I was at the Siran Palace, as many of you remember. They have their own medical facility in the hotel, and they do that test, and you get your results within 12 hours. It's a really good idea. Well, here at LeBlanc, they just announced at all their hotels that they're going to provide the COVID-19 tests free at no cost to guests. And here's the interesting part. Should you test positive, they will quarantine you here for 14 days at no cost to you. Gotta love that.
Waialua's principal says high school students will start coming back to campus for the first time this week. No word on whether a final decision has been made on assemblies. The school was criticized for gathering about 80 students in the gym last week, but if the assemblies do continue, we're told attendance will be optional. In East Oahu, DLNR officers broke up a gathering of about 200 people this weekend. According to the state, the group had planned a bonfire at Allen Davis Beach on the Kaiwi coast. The event was promoted on social media platforms like Facebook. The state says it was made aware of the gathering by tips on its DLNR tip app.
We estimate at least 200 people were present. A lot of them were young adults. Some of them identified themselves as military members who were at this location for the purposes of gathering for a bonfire. This does give us very serious concerns about the spread of COVID-19 in our community because, as everyone should know, it's these types of events that are the so-called super spreader type events.
No one was arrested or cited for attending the event.
Manhattan's Trump Tower, the president's New York home, has been a fortress since he took office, but times are changing. Trump is leaving office on Wednesday, and we're told security is going to be scaled down. Security could loosen up as early as this week, according to an NYPD official. That will start with decreased police presence on Wednesday. Some streets around the high-rise have been blocked off since Trump became president, and they will likely be reopened. Plans for the scaled-back security operations are still being coordinated with the Secret Service and other federal authorities. Tensions remain high on Capitol Hill in the wake of the January 6th riots. Meanwhile, many are concerned about the threat of more violence with this week's inauguration. Skylar Henry has more on that.
A nearby fire sent the U.S. Capitol into lockdown Monday morning, with people being warned to stay away from windows and doors. The Secret Service later clarified the lockdown was ordered out of an abundance of caution and that there is no threat to the public. With just 2 days to go until the inauguration, officials are working to shore up security in the nation's capital. That includes background checks on the more than 20,000 National Guard troops with leaders on alert for potential insider threats. But Daniel Hokanson, the chief of the National Guard Bureau, told CBS News' David Martin he does not share those concerns.
Are you worried at all about the reliability of your National Guard troops?
Absolutely not.
Have you been screening some of the troops as they come in?
Yes, sir. In coordination with the Secret Service and the FBI, they're screening all the personnel that are coming in.
Nearly a dozen ex-military members have been arrested in connection with the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol.
We must police our own. We must look. We can't allow people wearing in uniform wearing QAnon patches and just let that go as their particular political beliefs.
A law enforcement official confirms to CBS News authorities are bringing charges against people associated with radical militia groups known as the Oath Keepers and the 3 Percenters. Both are known to recruit among the military and law enforcement.
Years after 9/11, we were focused on foreign-based violent extremism, foreign-based terrorism. Now the principal threat comes from within.
A new CBS News poll shows a majority of those surveyed say the biggest threat to America's way of life comes from other people in America. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now let's turn it over to Lacey Denise with some other local stories making headlines.
A Hawaii Island man was arrested at Iolani Palace. 64-year-old Gene Tamashiro told the DLNR he intended to enter palace grounds in order to mark the anniversary of the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom. The palace has been closed on Sundays for months. Tamashiro was booked for entering a closed state park and violating the state's COVID-19 rules. Earlier this month, state officers cited Tamashiro for creating an illegal garden at Wailoa Park on Hawaii Island. The state is looking for vandals who broke into a greenhouse and destroyed extremely rare native plants. The DLNR says the break-in in Waimanalo likely happened Friday night. The plants were left on the floor along with dirt and broken containers. Officials say one of the plants is from a species with just one known wild plant existing in the Waianae Mountains. There are just 7 remaining of another plant that grows on the slopes of Diamond Head. Anyone with information is asked to call 643-3567. For This Is Now, I'm Lacey Denise.
Thank you so much, Lace. Now, we've been seeing so many incredible videos of this swell we've just been seeing with these huge waves, and we want to show you this. So that tiny dot in the middle of your screen, that's a person. Francisco Porchella. He's riding a 50-foot wave in Peahi, also known as Jaws, on Maui's North Shore. Whoa. Now, this is one of the best big wave surfing spots in the world, and for good reason, because from November to March, monstrous swells can reach up to 70 feet, pushing speeds of 30 miles per hour. We've seen epic rides and epic wipeouts take place here.
Oh, no.
I know. Some of the video we've been seeing on social media is just incredible. It just makes like your stomach pop up into your throat.
That's insane. Play that again. Crazy video there. But we also have some severe weather other than the waves we're talking about, right, Ash? There's some flash flood watches out there and some other advisories. Let's turn it over now to Guy Hoggy with a check of that.
How's it on this Monday? The juicy cold front that we've been tracking for the last several days is now over the state. We've got a lot of rain from Oahu all the way to Maui, moving towards the Big Island, and the front is basically stalled. It's not going to move. So wet weather likely to linger for the next several days. And also coming in just behind the front, some very strong northerly winds, and that's why a wind advisory is posted for much of the state from Maui all the way to Kauai. Some spots could get wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour, and that could lead to spotty power outages. So heads up on that. Be prepared for that possibility. Don't expect a lot of sunshine today. High temperatures will be running low, and with those northerly winds, it's going to feel cooler than that. And there are a handful of high alerts, including high surf warnings, which are posted for north and west shores. Another giant swell is on the way, but the difference being this one's going to be a little smaller, and it's going to be basically unrideable because of those northerly winds. It's going to be stormy, it's going to be sloppy, and basically victory at sea. Better conditions in town, but there's not a whole lot of energy out there. So we've got the stormy weather today and tomorrow. Slowly the winds will trend down a little bit, but they will remain at breezy levels into the weekend. Drier weather not expected back until maybe Friday. Keep it here in Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
With hospitals around the country at or near capacity, the American Red Cross says one treatment that could help the sickest COVID patients is in short supply: convalescent plasma. Elise Preston has more.
Georgia urgent care nurse Amanda Solt has worked tirelessly through the pandemic. This past summer, the frontline hero became a patient battling the coronavirus.
I've heard patients talk about it, but I never experienced it till that moment. You have a very overwhelming sense of doom.
Struggling to breathe, Amanda was hospitalized and declining fast. She says she doesn't remember much, but this snapshot taken by her nurse.
She says, we're going to take a selfie because we're going to remember this moment because this moment's going to save your life. And it did.
Amanda received convalescent plasma from a person who recovered from COVID. The antibodies from the plasma can help boost a patient's immune system.
This is a disease that has still very few therapeutics. We're seeing very new studies come out that suggest that the earlier you give it, the better it is.
Dr. Pompey Young with the American Red Cross says as cases surge nationwide, there's now a dire shortage of convalescent plasma.
We just simply can't keep up. So we need as many of our recovered COVID-19 patients as possible to roll up their sleeves and come in and donate.
That's what Amanda is doing. She's back to work, recently donated plasma, and is telling her patients to do the same.
The person who donated that plasma and then the nurses, can you put into words what they mean to you?
How do you say thank you to that? I could never, ever tell them thank you enough for giving me a second chance on life.
The grandmother is grateful she's alive and able to help someone else in need. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Thank you, Elise Preston there reporting. Let's talk about what the internet is talking about right now. A lot it is buzzing about and some more incredible video to show you. Ashley, check this out.
All right.
I've been waiting to see this too. Virgin Atlantic orbited its successful first rocket into space this weekend. The 70-foot projectile detached from a retrofitted Boeing 747 plane, nicknamed Cosmic Girl, flying over the Pacific Ocean and up into orbit last night. When the missile broke free, it propelled itself at a speed greater than 17,000 miles per hour.
Wow.
Virgin is now the third new space company. I love these stories and this whole pioneering of space orbiting. This comes after SpaceX and Rocket Lab, of course.
Go Cosmic Girl.
Yeah. Very cool video there.
Our dream of going to space soon, John.
Yeah.
One step closer.
Nearer, little closer, little closer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys, this story is pretty crazy. So a man has been living at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport for 3 months. This is how it happened. He reportedly arrived from Los Angeles in mid-October and told authorities he's too afraid to fly back to LA because of COVID-19. It's a hot spot there. So the 36-year-old decided to stay at Chicago's airport inside the security zone until he was caught on Saturday. Apparently, 2 United Airlines employees confronted him and asked to see his work ID, which had been reported stolen by an airport operations manager. Now he's charged with felony criminal trespassing in a restricted area of an airport and theft.
Sort of sounds like the plot to that Tom Hanks movie,
I
Terminal.
know, just living
Remember
at
that?
the airport.
Yep.
And do you ever need caffeine, but you can't decide between soda or coffee? Well, you don't have to decide anymore. Now you can have Coca-Cola with coffee. It's a new drink, and it's pretty simple. It's classic soda that you've known for years, Coca-Cola, plus Brazilian coffee. The beverage is available in 3 flavors, dark, vanilla, and caramel.
I'm
What do you
pretty
think, John?
sure I spotted that in some local stores already. So
I like
maybe
the branding.
Yeah, I like the branding. Do not like coffee, but love Coca-Cola. So probably not going to give that one a shot. But many people are giving a shot to decluttering as part of their 2021 resolutions. Get this, more than $20 billion is sort of spent on this process. That's insane, right?
Like the Container Store?
Yeah, like the Container Store.
Right.
Well, we got Dan Shinneman with a closer look at this trend.
I've helped thousands of clients transform their homes.
I'm a recovering super slob.
Cassandra Arson is an organizational expert.
So the big myth is if I only got organized, then I'd have space for everything. But organizing doesn't create space. Decluttering creates space.
A free quiz on Arson's website, Clutterbug, helps find your organizing style.
If you know what naturally works for you, you can set up a system that actually stays organized for good.
I think your space is a reflection of you, and by organizing it, you're setting yourself up for success in the rest of your life.
The Spruce's Melanie Berlier says take baby steps when tackling the clutter.
It can often help to divide a space into smaller sections that you can tackle within an hour and do a little bit each day.
The Spruce teamed up with Lowe's Home Improvement stores, offering a line of storage items to help make the process easier.
There are containers in many different sizes that can suit any different space.
So identify your hotspots wherever it is in your home, and then look around that space where you can take that hotspot and dedicate a home for it.
Arson says fear can be a stumbling block.
Don't be afraid to try, and don't be afraid to fail, because that's how I really found out what worked for me, was trying new things, not trying new containers and new products, but rearranging things in my home until I found what really worked.
Finding what works and starting the new year off with a clean slate. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
You're incredibly organized.
I am, except the one thing I can't do my closet. I'm so attached to my clothes.
Yes.
Like I need my jean jacket from college because
yeah, of course. I always consider you attach memories to those things, right?
Exactly.
And that's like what Marie Kondo says, if it doesn't bring you joy, right?
All my clothes bring me joy.
Me too, everything brings me joy. It's a big problem, Marie. Some good news happening on the North Shore, right?
That's right. So after nearly a year, the Polynesian Cultural Center is reopening today. PCC announced it was shutting down for 2 weeks back in March, but the visitor attraction remained closed for the next 10 months. Now, management says health and safety guidelines are in place, including temperature checks and mask requirements. Head to Polynesia.com to book your tickets.
Hey, let's toss it over now to Billy V with some entertainment news.
There's a new trailer for the new show about the early life of The Rock.
Every hero has an origin story, but not a full mustache at age 15. It's The Rock's true life story.
Young Rock tells the story of a young Dwayne Johnson before he hit it in big in Hollywood. Johnson debuted the trailer on his Twitter, saying he can't wait to make you laugh and share some life lessons learned along the way. Some of those lessons learned right here in Honolulu, within the halls of Washington Middle and McKinley High, where Johnson went to school. Young Rock debuts on KHNL on February 16th. By the way, do you want to buy The Rock's estate? It's located near Atlanta, Georgia. It also has a horse farm on it. He bought it for $9.5 million back in October of 2019. That home sits on 46.3 acres, has 8 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. The square footage of the house alone is almost 15,000 square feet. Asking price, $7.5 million.
I'll take it, Billy. I'll take it. That is a beautiful home. And that show looks great.
It looks cute.
A full mustache at age 15. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
More celebrity news, you guys. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel have a new addition to their family. So the 39-year-old singer-actor confirms his wife gave birth to a son they named Phineas. Timberlake made the announcement during a virtual appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. The couple, who were married in 2012, also have a 5-year-old son named Silas, and according to Timberlake, Silas is very much liking being a big brother. Now, Timberlake also joked that there's little sleep in the household, but that everyone is super thrilled.
I'm just looking at myself in the monitor here, trying to do like what Billy does with his
Oh,
eyebrows.
the eyebrow, yeah.
She's really.
I think it's
she's
an
got major
extra
control.
muscle or something.
I'm missing it, definitely. That was impressive. Podcast listeners can't see it, but Billy's had some fantastic eyebrow move there. That's going to do it for This Is Now on this holiday. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday. We'll see you there. And at 4 on KHNL, at first at 4.